Today I'm going to explain why network is a stupid concept in and of itself. And I know what you're thinking because everybody on the internet loves network. Your network is your net worth. Who you know, you need to get around men of competence and capability. And you go on a 5 minute rant on why you should be in the presence of people with money. A concept I completely agree with. Unfortunately, it's communicated in the wrong way because people on the internet just clip farm. They copy other people's contents, say things they have little to no knowledge, understanding about. So more so, what we see today is most likely a regurgitation of other people's content. So if we were to sit with the creator and ask questions, try to plumber on the subject, he's at loss because he saw someone with a huge platform say it made a bit of sense, copied it, added a little bit of personal experience and anecdote. In fact, I would argue that that person is just learning about the concept. Then he was able to trace where he unconsciously tapped into that knowledge, produced content. That's all we see today. However, I'm going to explain why network is a stupid concept. I'm going to explain how to take advantage of network. Network becomes beneficial if it is accurately communicated. I'll give you an example. Network is a mindset the ultra rich has sustained for decades, taught it to their children, who in turn taught it to their grandchildren and their great grandchildren, creating a progressive generation of people with that mindset. And you're just learning about it now, running like a kid. Oh, network, I need to know people. Fucking stupid. In fact, the problem with this kind of people, the problem with the people who over depend on network is something I'm about to share, and this is the nucleus of this discourse. There are three kinds of people who pursue network, and I want you to see your life through the lens of this principle. See your life through the lens of this principle. And if you cannot be objectively honest with yourself, there's no progress for you. You're like a pawn, and a pawn can be anything it decides to do when it gets to the other side of the board. So knowledge helps you traverse the board. And the only way to apply knowledge, as I have initially stated, is to be objectively honest with yourself. If you fall under the classification of the negative kind of people, there's no shame in it. There's no trying to sugarcoat it. Once you've identified that this is the position I'm in, you now have the knowledge to traverse to what you consider positive. That's the beauty of knowledge. So the first kind of people who over depend on network are the valueless people, the valueless kind. The kind of individuals who aspire to see wealthy individuals, aspire to meet wealthy people, such that they can receive a job or some kind of benefits. So they are not here to contribute, they are here to take. Valueless kind of people. Unfortunately, if you route success through this place, you would forever be a beggar. If you get a job by begging and bowing your head, you would forever be a beggar. One, you don't have the mindset to be creative. You now believe, because let me make it clear, nobody lives what works. If you get results through X means, it's going to be very difficult to pivot. You see this with big tech companies. They make a lot of money with one app, through one route, by doing things X way. It's going to be very difficult although that route exhausted, to pivot. It takes a new innovative CEO to come along and say, this is shit, this has gone extinct, they are no longer typewriters, therefore XYZ is non-existent. Let's pivot to computers. In fact, whilst the CEO of Intel, I can't recall the business model Intel used to serve, and it pivoted into chips. So if you look it up, the first CEO of Intel who moved from selling XYZ, I can't recall the exact business model. So the business model was initially something other than chips. Someone made that innovation, and now Intel is crashing. Look at the stocks of Intel. It's crashing down. It took the US government to try and bail the company. So what Intel needs is not more US aids, it's not more grants, it's not more improvement upon chips. It's an innovator who will shift their business model. But let's not diverge. The kind of people who aspire to meet wealthy individuals solely for benefits. Unfortunately, the human species weren't built to contribute indefinitely. And I've said it countless about relationship. Relationship is not equally beneficial. It is mutually beneficial. Because there are some kind of people you meet, there is nothing you can give them that would outmatch the contribution they've made in your life, your destiny, your business. Take Elon, for instance. What are you going to gift him on his birthday? A new Ferrari? A Bugatti? Exactly. So the relationship sometimes, most times, is not equally beneficial. It is mutually beneficial. Unfortunately, why do I keep using the word unfortunately? However, the people on the first part, the people on the first point, they don't see it that way. They just want to receive, take. Humans weren't built to give unconditionally. There's an Igbo proverb that says, Izwo mazi emeche fazwoi. The translation, once you've taken care of your child, he'll take care of you. So it's more like an investment that once you're full of age, they surround you like the mighty men of David. So that's how it is with humans. Nobody gives unconditionally. It's impossible. That's the fastest way to lose relationships. That's the first. Parasitic kind of people. People with the wrong narrative, always seeking help from affluent individuals. The second kind are the little in value kind of people. And I'll explain what I mean by this. These people are not necessarily seeking help per se. They are more like seeking participation as touching their business. So they are not proficient in the service they offer. They are not that valuable in whatever service they provide, but they have something doing. So unlike the first people, they are not completely useless. They have, say, a gadget store or sewing in fact, but they are not world class at the service they provide. They are hoping to seek your participation such that you hire or request a lot of quantity in whatever service or goods that they make profits. So like the guy in the mom and pop shop expecting a wealthy individual to make a huge order, or the guy at the roadside expecting a wealthy individual to contact him to make barbecues for events. And of course, that's a start. But the unfortunate reality about this kind of value is it's mainstream. You are easily replaceable. If I wanted a gadget now, I needed it now. What stops me from buying from this other guy as opposed to you? Price? You think I give a fuck about price? Pricing alone, of course, it's an advantage, but rich people think in terms of time. And if you cannot get it now, they buy from someone else. What? It sets them back $30, $40. Oops, a lot of money. They can't buy dinner because they lost $50. Exactly. So that's the second one. People are little in value. They offer very little value and hope with your participation you take them to the next level. The third one is very interesting because this is where networking find expression. This is the kind of people who deserve to network, which is the extremely valuable people. These are individuals who have paid the price through diligence, effort, pain to build whatever brand, whatever business, whatever service they provide at a proficient and excellent level. Notice my choice of words. A proficient and excellent level, meaning they are masters at whatever service they provide. What is mastery? Mastery is consistency of results. You're a chef, the meal is not tasty today and tasteless tomorrow. Consistency of outcome. You're a tailor, the clothes is not nice today and crap tomorrow. So consistency of outcome is what is defined as mastery. These are people who then deserve to network. Let me make something clear. Competence is addictive. Competence is addictive. There's a guy that cuts my hair, and I've shared this story countless times. This person I met at a very small kiosk. Because of this scar on my head, I used to go very far to cut my hair, and unfortunately, they still set my hairlines 4 to 1 inches backwards. So anytime I would want to cut my hair, it was like a funeral to me. Nice salons with untrammeled ambience, yet they still made the same mistake touching my hairline. So one day, about to catch the bus, this was years ago, too big now, about to take the bus to one of these saloons that fucks my hairline up. There's this small kiosk by the side. I decided to try him out. Once he was done, I opened my eyes and I was amazed at what I saw. He did the hairline so well that even when I left that community, I would pay for his ride. And now, I established a salon for him in one of the most luxurious places in Lagos. So if you ask that guy, how would you leave this kiosk? Give me a detailed plan of how you intend to move from this small kiosk to a larger shop. Not just a larger saloon, but in one of the most luxurious places in Lagos. So competence moves you from obscurity to ostentatiousness. It was as a consequence of that man's competence he was able to fly on airplanes. By the way, to fly on airplanes in Africa is a thing of luxury. Bus is the mainstream. Buses are common sense. We don't even have trains. But that's a different discourse. But competence is addictive. Whatever service you provide, intensely focus. Try as much as possible to become valuable in that area, and you'll be fine. As always, my friends, it's a pleasure speaking to you. I'll see you in the next one.